I slept like shit for 7 days, and this is what I learned. Hi pals, it's Artie again, they them pronouns only. I thought I would talk about sleep again because since my sleep hygiene video that I put out a few weeks ago now, I don't even remember when it was at this point, I was away from home for a week and slept very badly the whole time, like 7 full nights of shit sleep. And it came as quite a reminder of how important sleep is for me, and the difference a shit night's sleep makes versus a good night's sleep. Something that a lot of my chronically ill friends talk about is like, you know, you often can't tell a difference when you've had a good night's sleep in our sort of like sphere of life, whether it makes you feel any better, but like you can tell when you've had a shit night's sleep or no sleep, and that effect on your body. So yeah, I slept in 2 different places during my week away. The first one was in quite a quiet part of London, in a single bed with 3 very large, like thick, sturdy pillows. The mattress was okay. I'm definitely not used to sleeping in a single bed, so that probably had a little bit of something to do with it. But mainly my issue was the pillow under my head was just way too big, and I just kind of permanently had neck strain and like shoulder pain. It felt like I'd been to the gym for like a whole week doing nothing but like shoulder exercising, like push-ups and, you know, whatever, and it just kind of progressively got worse. I wasn't sure whether it was to do with the CBD as well, because I've been taking slash drinking CBD products before bed at home, and I feel like that has definitely had an element of helping me sleep, especially as my amitriptyline is not doing a whole lot anymore. So I did go and buy some CBD drinks. It didn't make a whole lot of difference until like the last night of this first day, where I drank 2 drinks in the evening, which I think they were like 32 mg each. So like that was quite a big dose just to get like semi-decent sleep compared to the rest of the time I'd been there. But I do also think it was a lot harder for me to remember to take my amitriptyline in the evenings because my routine was just so different and out of whack in this environment. So like I feel like generally my sleep maybe could have been a little bit better if I could have been a bit better with taking my amitriptyline on time. Then the next part of my week away from home was in quite a louder area of London, sort of more central. I think, what was the, I think the closest station was King's Cross. I can't remember. I think that was it, but had a double bed in that one, which definitely helped. But I only had 2 pillows, but at least the pillows were a bit smaller. And for both of the places, I didn't have like internet connection. There was no Wi-Fi. And part of what I talked about in my sleep hygiene video is part of my routine of going to bed and going to sleep includes watching like live streams or let's plays on YouTube or Twitch. So I couldn't really do either of those things for that entire week as well. And I was trying to not completely use up all my 4G because I did also need that during the day for like navigating London and talking to people and things like that. And yeah, the other issues generally continued as well. I didn't have any CBD drinks. I couldn't find a shop that was selling the drinks. Everywhere that kind of popped up was all just vape shops. So I kind of had to then go without CBD drinks for another few days of that week. And yeah, as the week kind of progressed, the longer I didn't sleep very well for, the more my generalized pain got. Like I've said in a few videos and already here, a lot of my pain medications I have access to aren't really doing a lot for me at the moment, as well as like trying to taper with the steroids and stuff like that. Generally everything is painful even if I take my pain meds. There were a few days where I did take my amitriptyline earlier in the day because I was getting a lot of headaches. I think a lot of that as well was like sensory overstimulation anyway. But yeah, the last couple of days I did so much walking that my feet and my lower back were in so much pain. Actually, it's probably more like the three days. Just everything hurt so much that again, a lot of those things I can't really do anything about when I'm out of the house. A lot of the things I would do to manage or try to relieve some of that pain is stuff that you can't really do outside the house. I did have a hot water bottle with me, which I did use in the second part of the stay in the flat we were staying in, but obviously I could only use that really like in the evening slash a bit in the morning. So I did use that on my lower back, and I had plasters and stuff to cover my feet because there were parts of my shoes were rubbing. I actually left with like a bruise on top of my foot from I think my Doc Martens. And yeah, just the more I progressively was like walking around dealing with this pain, sitting in uncomfortable theatre chairs like I talked about in the last video. I went to quite a few like theatre shows and art exhibits and things like that, which was very enriching for the mind, but so much on the body. It was quite difficult to find food as well still. There were a lot of places that just didn't really have a lot of great options. I'm pretty sure we spent £5 on a portion of chips that was like the size of my fist, which was not good and helpful. And I do tend to find that in those kinds of moments when I'm in so much pain that none of my meds are doing anything and I can't do anything else to try to manage the pain, alcohol is my friend. So obviously I do not encourage this, but it is something I've talked to a couple of my healthcare providers about, that sometimes when I'm in just so much pain and nothing is touching it, having a glass or two of an alcoholic beverage helps the pain sort of melt away. Whilst we were waiting for our train at Victoria, we went to the Spoons to have some food, and we split a couple of bottles of wine between us. And that helped me get home, and I slept incredibly that night. And actually, wildly enough, I woke up without any of the pain that I'd previously been in from this last week. So yeah, I learned that getting enough and decent sleep for me is really important for my pain levels, and actually it manages some of the worst pains. I know, and I have a very specific sleep schedule and habits, and you know, the way I sleep is all very like calculated and has been tested for many years, so I know how I sleep best, and that tends to only be available at home in my own bed. I learned that I definitely still need the help of some kind of like low-level stimulation, like Let's Plays or live streams, to kind of help lull my brain into sleep. And I definitely need routine. That is a really important aspect for not only my sleep but also my eating schedule. That was something that threw me off a lot, was when and what I ate was kind of out of my hands for that week. It was very much like make do with what we can find and when we can find it. So that kind of exacerbated a lot of my struggles generally with trying to just function every day. And also the CBD has been relatively helpful. I think it's something that I will be continuing to do whilst I try to work out a better or different pain management system for me. And I also learned that all of that sort of like very active walking around or sitting up and speaking up to people did have an impact on my POTS quite a bit. My heart rate was up quite a lot most of that week, and I really did not feel well by that last sort of day. My chest was starting to hurt, which is a POTS symptom I do get when I'm definitely like very worn down. I also really struggled to appropriately hydrate myself, because yeah, the first week there were only 2 bathrooms available, and they were in really strange places. They were quite far away from the room I was staying in, so if I needed to go to the toilet in the middle of the night, it wasn't like, oh, just pop out and go around the corner to the toilet. It was like up or down flights of stairs. And I sort of explained to them that I felt like I was rationing my water in the night, because there wasn't really like a overtly clear invitation of, oh, we have jugs that you can fill up and take up to your room of water to have overnight and whatever. So it felt like trying to avoid needing to go to the toilet so often, because the amount of stairs I had to then tackle regardless of where I was in the house, as well as just not having easy access to drinking water. All of the other taps and stuff were non-drinking water. So yeah, I was quite dehydrated for that whole week as well. The one evening where I did drink a lot of water, I did wake up in the middle of the night and had to go to the toilet at like 2:30 in the morning. And that was when I had everything packed to move, like go to the next place in London. So I didn't have like super easily like throwing on clothes to hand to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. It was quite chilly. And yeah, like my sleep is the best it's been probably ever in my entire life right now, when I'm at home anyway. I tend to get, you know, around 8 to 9 hours of sleep, although as well my sleep has changed recently because my last blood test shows that I'm anemic, and I was wondering why I felt so extremely fatigued. This happened last time I was slightly anemic. The fatigue is so bad, like it's just so strong. I can't do as much, and I actually end up going to bed earlier / sleeping in later. So that's kind of the deal I've got going right now, and I'm just trying to listen to my body at the moment when it comes to rest and sleep. So I've come off my ADHD meds as well, because there's nothing worse than having a brain that can / wants to do stuff, and then your body's just like, no, fuck off. So yeah, even though I'm getting really good sleep at the moment, it's still not super refreshed sleep. I don't know how to even like talk about it because I've never had great sleep. I've always had sleeping problems. I've had bouts of insomnia through my life, and I get like random nights of basically not sleeping at all every few months. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about the differences I saw and felt experiencing a week of really just like objectively very bad sleep versus my normal sleep. I was genuinely very surprised at waking up after a week of shitty sleep and like so much work and pressure on my disabled body, waking up without 90% of those pains. Obviously I was still in pain because life is pain. My life is pain. The lower back pain was gone. A lot of my generalised pain was gone. My POTS was feeling a little bit better as well. The only thing I've been dealing with extra recently is that I just want to like stretch my upper body like this all the time, and I did talk to my chiropractor about it, so he's given me some like exercises to do which include like gentle twisting and this thing. I don't know, it's just like, it's like really minute body movements for like targeted muscles. He thinks strengthening my back muscles will be beneficial. I'm like, okay, fair. Is there anything else I was gonna say? I have no idea. Yeah, I mean, The amitriptyline I take in the evening is meant to help sort of like the pain side of things that can affect my sleep. I get a lot of painsomnia, so that I'm just not able to sleep through, because like the kind of pain that I get most often that is really difficult to manage is just like a full body like ache. It's just an aching that, yeah, stretching cannot help / does not help. And that's what the amitriptyline is meant to help. Generally, yeah, it's not really doing that anymore. Don't really know what else to be doing besides the CBD drinks and gummies I currently still have. I'll definitely finish those off either way, but I don't know what my next steps are going to be just yet. I'm waiting on POTS diagnosis related things. I still need to look into the medical cannabis. But yeah, my sleep has got a direct correlation with the amount of pain I'm in, and as well as like my irritability and my sensory overwhelm. And those things are difficult enough to deal with normally when I have slept the way I sleep at home generally quite well. Yeah, I just noticed that when my sleep has been not only bad for like one night, but bad for 7 nights. Oh, yeah, it's just like super amped up. And that week away, a lot of my usual downtime of like enjoying certain things or having like wind down activities, I basically couldn't do them because I just was running on empty, both like emotionally and physically. That yeah, I would spend my downtime just laying in bed and just scrolling social media, watching videos, because I just could not do anything else. Kind of like how I'm feeling right now with the anemia. So yeah, that's kind of just my little quick update. I am also going to pardon me, going to see a massage therapist again. It's been a while, but I think I just need someone who can help undo some of the like knots and tension in my like upper back and neck sort of area. So I'm doing that today. Hopefully that helps me feel better overall. So yeah, I have to go and get ready for that. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk about sleeping like shit for 7 days and just like what I learned from it. And it's like, wow, I can really appreciate, even though my mattress is kind of fucked, that I sleep way better here. Let me know in the comments. Do you have the same issue as me? Because like I can't sleep well anywhere from home because I'm just such like a, it's kind of like the Princess and the Pea kind of a scenario. One thing wrong, no sleep. Cannot sleep. No. Yeah, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of me, leave a comment down below, helps the algorithm, those sorts of things, you know, blah blah blah. I don't know how many videos will be coming out this month because it's December and I tend to take a few weeks off, but I do plan to have a few, or like work on a few videos, so that I don't necessarily have to film a bunch for like this month in January, because yeah, January's gonna be busy. I've got my showcase in, on like the 13th and 14th of January, and I've got to learn my lines and learn these songs and all that sort of thing. So I don't want to give myself too much extra work of like doing my videos and stuff too. So we'll see what happens. Today's probably not that day, because yeah, I'm gonna have to take all my face off for my massage therapist appointment, and I probably won't put it back on, you know, because fuck that. And also because I'm running on such little energy with my anemia. This is probably using up the last of the energy I have, except for like the tiny bit I'll need for travelling to this appointment later. I will see you next week. probably. I do plan to at least have another one out. Bye.